Hello and welcome to this video on the skills research for chapter 5. So I've already downloaded the spreadsheet file, and so we can see we have some sales data across the top, and each of the columns is typically going to be your field name or column heading, and so that's how you're going to be able to sort things or do other functions that help you analyze your data. So if we look at this data, we can see what the field names are. We can scroll down and see how much data they have. Only about 139 rows, 138 rows of data. The first row is the field names. We also have a loan worksheet, and we can see it looks like it's going to be an amortization schedule, and then using some solver type equation to figure out some other information. So let's go ahead and get started. I've also got the instructions on another screen, and so I'll just read the different steps as we get ready to go through them and explain how to do them, and show you how to do them, and then explain a little bit as we go along. Alright, so the first thing is we download it, we click enabling. I've done the first two steps, and so now what we want to do is step 3 is format the data on the sales data worksheet as a table using green table style light 14 or table style light 14 table style. So we click on the sales data worksheet. We can click in any cell. From there, we click on the Home tab. Make sure you're in the Home tab. We go to Styles. And then we've got Format as Table. And we want the green table style 14. So there is the table style light 14, which is what we want. It's going to ask you, do you really want this as the range for the table? And that's exactly what we want. Notice this box is checked by default, and it is what we want because the headers or the column labels or the field names is at the top, and that's how everything's going to be used in this table. So we'll click OK. Alright, so now it's been formatted as a table. And you'll notice there are little drop down arrows next to each of the field names. And what you can do there is you can use those drop down arrows to actually sort your data in ascending or descending order. You can also filter, depending on the data type, by different numbers or text that you want. And we'll see some examples of this. Just going to hit escape to get out of here, and I'll click off, and so this is the table now. On step 4, it says add a total row to the table to display the number of buyers, the average number of bedrooms and bathrooms for each sale, and the average purchase price, interest rate, and mortgage length. All right, so all of those functions there are called aggregate functions. And this step and the directions for this step only work if you've converted your data to a table first. So remember how we did that? We went to the Home tab and we had to format as table. Now there are other ways to do this, and hopefully we'll show you that later on as well. But you want this to be a table. So according to the steps here, we want to make sure that we're in the Design tab under the Table Tools, and we want to check this total row. So notice what happens when I click that box. It automatically sticks in the total here and assumes this last column is numbers. It put in the subtotal there. Okay, so it asks us to do a bunch of different things. One was to have how many buyers are there. Well, what we have to know is which column was the buyers in. So buyers is in column C. So click the buyers column. Select the count function. Notice that when we did tables, these field names or headers stayed at the top, so it's easy enough for us to see where they're at. So I'm going to click here. All of these functions here are now available to you. These are what I call aggregate functions. So if we want to find the total number of something, we just hit count. And that tells us that there are 138 buyers. In part C, it says in the total row at the bottom of the table, click on bedrooms column and click there and select average function. So under bedrooms, we want the average here. So out of all of those homes, there are a little over, on average, 3 bedrooms. Part C, we want to do the same thing for bathrooms. And we want to get the average again for that. Part D, I think we just did that one. So then part E, we will look at purchase price. So when we click in this totals row, we can see purchase price here. We want to get the average for all the purchase prices. In the total row, this is part F. In the rate column, we want to get the average here as well, the average interest rate. And then part G, in the total row, we want to click on mortgage years. And notice by default, it just summed them all up. Well, we don't want to sum, we want the average of all those mortgage years. The next thing it says in your directions is you must complete steps 5 and 6 in the order they are written to receive all the points for completing step 7. So make sure you go in the correct order. So in step 5, it says sort the data so the newest purchases appear at the top. Newest purchases, so we're looking for a purchase price. So, you know, when we do our exams, it's not going to tell you which steps to do. And so it'll just say, what's the newest purchase price? And so which column do you think we should click on? And so you need to look at that. So if we click, follow these directions, we click anywhere in the date of purchase column. So is it this column or is it this column? So the only way we're going to be able to sort on date is not by purchase price, but by some column that has date values in it. So we're going to click here. Then in the sort and filter group, on the data tab, click data. We can click Z to A. And we just scan that. What's the newest date? 3/27/2017. Or we got these 16s. So we've correctly done it. Okay, so that's one way you could have done it. Another way you could have done it is clicked on this down arrow key here and sorted this way. I'm going to get out of that and cancel that because I'm following the directions the way they said to do it. Otherwise, we won't get full credit. So step 6 says filter the data to show only houses sold by owner with 4 or 5 bedrooms. So we know we're going to be looking at bedrooms. And we only want the ones that have 4 or 5 to be on the screen. So according to the steps in your instructions, it says click on the agent column, click select all, and then select by owner. Now if you go back and read the original task, it says only houses sold by owner with 4 or 5 bedrooms. So we have to first filter by owner. I guess we could filter bedrooms first and then owner, but if we want if we want all the credit, we got to do it this way. All right, so all we see on the screen now is owner. Notice that we have different numbers over here and they're not sequential anymore, which means that those other rows are just hidden. Next, we want to click at the top on the bedrooms column. And again, we want to click the select all. That unchecks that and that removes everything. And the only ones we really want to see are 4 and 5 bedrooms. So when we made this a table, what Excel did is it looked in that column and it got all the unique values and created a list here for you. So now you could sort on that, and that's what it's done for every one of these columns with these drop down boxes or arrows here. So now we've got these values. Notice also that that total row also changed, and these numbers reflect on how we've sorted this data, which is a very useful feature for analyzing your data when you want to just look at one particular item, in our case by owner, and then bedrooms and bathrooms. So there's actually 3 items. These are all and conditions and an or condition. So by owner and bedrooms equal 4 or bedrooms equal 5. Step 7 says create a line chart showing the purchase price for houses by date. So it's only for owners with bedrooms of 4 or 5. So select the date of purchase, date of sales. Be careful not to include the column heading, and press and hold the control key. Click and drag to select the purchase price, date of sales again, being careful not to include the column heading. Okay, so we want create a line chart showing the purchase price by house by date, or houses by date. So first thing, date of purchase, we're going to hold the control key and we're going to just either drag, select all of those. We do not want this column heading. Then while holding the control key, we're going to look at purchase price. We're going to click here and we're going to drag down here. We do not want the totals. Then on the Insert tab, this is where we get to charts. We are going to click in the charts group, a line chart, in our line, insert line or area chart. We're going to click on the first line chart shown, and that should produce something like the following. So I'm going to finish up this video here, and when we come back we'll show you how to format this chart. A thing to note is that we didn't have to select all of the data to create a chart. We could actually select columns that we wanted in the chart. And you do that by holding down the control key. You select one column first, control key, select another column. Don't include headers and don't include the totals. And that ends this for this Part 1.